Hey, this video is 10 Nintendo Switch 2 eShop games worth buying. And when I say they're worth buying, holy moly, I honestly think this list is dang impressive. We're talking breathtaking visuals, experiences I never expected to have on my handheld Nintendo console. And on top of that, these are all Nintendo Switch 2 games. Some of them I think have Switch 1 versions, but I specifically have played and will be reviewing the Switch 2 versions. I don't know what has happened to this console over the last month or two. It has exploded with fantastic games, quality experiences, and just some really cool stuff. So sit back, I'm about to show you 10 games that you're gonna wanna buy. Well, to be honest, 9 games and an extra one, but we'll get there. Also, yeah, no, look, I'm actually in the real world. No, I retired the green screen for a day. My editor, Zach, and I have been having a ton of fun with these green screen videos, and I think I'm definitely gonna do a lot more of those, but we needed a rest, and this is a staple series that I'm gonna keep doing in the way that I've always done it. So if you're new here, hi, how you going? Why don't you subscribe? I'm gonna start out the gate strong with Kenna, or it might be Kena. So if you watched this video recently, you'll know that I was blown away by Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9. Just the fact that those games were here and looking as good as they were. It was the best thing I had seen the Switch 2 do. Kenna is a close second. It's right up there. Constantly, I would stop and look at the environments and the surroundings and the visuals. It's so full of color, vibrance, detail, dense foliage, and so much more. I couldn't find any information on what the resolution and frame rate is, but other than a couple of dips near certain doors or when I was walking into new areas, it seemed really solid to me. Visually is where it's most impressive, and the only issue is the main character, Kenna. She gets a little bit of artifacting specifically around her hair, but other than that, this is pretty flawless. The game itself is fantastic. It's a GameCube era-like platformer action RPG featuring these cute little minion guys called Rot, which is a horrible name for little guys who are so cute, and they act a lot like Pikmin at times. I mean, the way you find and collect them, and they follow you around, they move obstacles for you or fight enemies with you. And on top of its stunning world design, Kenna also offers Disney-like character animations and faces, with these fantastic cutscenes that look straight out of a Pixar movie. The moment where you use the little rock guys to purge the flowers and cleanse the area of darkness, watching it spring back to life as the vibrant color pops onto the Switch 2 screen or your TV, it just never gets old every single time you do it. This game was originally on PlayStation 5, and I did play it back then, but there's something about it that just fits so well at home with Nintendo. It just feels like those old games I used to play on my GameCube. These eShop videos are so fun to make, and I hope fun to watch, because just like the eShop, you never know what you're gonna get. And you know another place where you never know what you're gonna get? Tokyo Treat and Sakurako, 2 monthly Japanese subscription snack boxes that are just filled with fun surprises, artisan snacks, and so much more, shipped straight from Japan. This spring, Tokyo Treat invites you to enjoy cherry blossoms glowing beneath the night sky. These are always a highlight of my month, not only to do a sponsor for, and it's one of my favorite sponsors that I do, but just to eat the snacks, and then I take them upstairs and I eat them all with Kim. Oh, matcha latte Kit Kats. Heck yeah. It's like I just walked into the best coffee shop and asked for a matcha latte. Inside, you'll find snacks inspired by evening walks. Beneath the lantern-lit Sakura tree, like Sakura roll cake, cherry blossom rice cracker. Okay, I want to try these strawberry sticks. Oh, they're like little French fry things. They're like salty and sour and sweet, and other snacks that you can share with your loved ones. Each one of these boxes comes with a guide, which is awesome for finding out what's actually in the snacks. Dietary restrictions, flavor profiles. I have no idea what I'm eating. Look at all these weird little guys. It's like a Japanese Chex Mix. Oh, that's good. But if you have a little bit more of a refined palate, Sakurako might be for you, because this box is an artisan snack box. This spring, Sakura invites you to slow down and savor the quiet beauty of Sakura beneath the moonlight. There's always a limited edition tea, which is great because it pairs well with all of the snacks in this box. You can enjoy delicate Sakura cream cookies, Sakura mochi, Sakura wafers, and other thoughtfully crafted treats. Brew your own tea and eat a couple of your favorite snacks. These are heavy chewy, doughy pastries. They're so fresh. A lot of these artisan snacks, I never talk about this, actually come with a freshness packet in there. Wow. Tea or coffee? This one? Oh, that would slap. I wish I had one. I've gotten these a lot before in these boxes, these beautiful designs. There's also like a cream inside, these like delicious crispy wafers. Oh, I haven't had a glassware in, oh, I love this. I actually love that. That's really nice. This is like the nicest glass I have in the house. Both of these fantastic snack boxes are celebrating spring. So if you want to get in the seasonal mood, click the link in the description box below and use code BeatEmUps to get $5 off your first box. Whether you want Tokyo Treat or Sakurako, you can't go wrong. They both offer something different, but something very special. Thank you, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako, for sponsoring, giving me some snacky foods. And now we're gonna get back to more eShop games. Next, I want to talk about DeadZone Rogue. As the name would suggest, it's a roguelike, but a roguelike FPS in space. And I believe this is the first roguelike FPS I've ever played, but it works so well. The concept of starting as just a normal guy in a gun and slowly leveling yourself up and getting all these crazy abilities where by the end of the run, you're zipping, zapping around, running at breakneck speeds. You have a magazine of bullets that never runs out. You're literally flying, you're shooting elemental electric attacks. You can even go invisible. There's so many abilities that stack up here. You blast through rooms of robots, aliens, and just straight up terrifying creatures. And at the end of each room, it presents you with 3 random upgrades to pick between. You know how a roguelike works by now. Best of all, you can play this online with 2 other friends as well. It takes the core concepts of games like Hades and blends it with the gunplay style of Destiny. Before hitting the eShop, this game also gained a 9 out of 10 on Steam as well. I will say that the level designs are pretty basic and some of the enemy designs aren't super inspired, but I will say that the lighting and colors and effects, the atmosphere ends up looking really nice and it's really polishing up these environments. Also, it helps that this game has really high resolutions and a stable 40 FPS. When we started playing it, me, my friend Bob, and my friend Fried Biscuits, we all thought it was 60 FPS. Like that, like we were for sure. And when we found out it was 40, we were confused because it didn't feel like 40, it felt like 60. And it turns out it's because the game forces itself to run at 120 hertz. And now here's what I learned. Because 40 is directly divisible by 120, it makes the 40 FPS look and appear way more smooth than 40 FPS that isn't in 120 hertz. I don't know how it works, but essentially it's a better looking 40 FPS, which I didn't even know was a thing that could happen. It's pretty cool that they locked it at 40 for this reason, and it looks better than that. I keep finding these little like hacks. We have the DLSS upscaling resolution making games look better, and now 40 FPS can look like 60 FPS. What will we learn next? But while the game looks and plays great in those high resolutions, like I said, every time I would try playing online as the host, my resolutions would tank. Usually around 20 FPS, sometimes to 5 FPS. By the end of a run, it became unplayable. We noticed it was just me as the host, so we had Bob try to host, and then, well, this happened to him. I sent all of this footage and information to the dev team, and they replied with, "That looks bad." So they did say a patch was coming. Just be aware of that. Had to mention it. I love the game otherwise, and I hope that gets fixed up. So I would consider those 2 pretty big games for the Switch 2, but if you want a mini one, how about Minishoot? Minishoot Adventures is another one of these games that's meshing genres I never thought would mesh, and it works so well. It's a twin-stick shooter blended with like a top-down 2D Zelda, with a bunch of different little mini hub worlds and caves to explore and dungeons and bosses to beat. Like, you play it like a Zelda, but it's a twin-stick shooter bullet hell. The presentation is just so charming with these poppy colors, simple, bold lines, and smooth animations. The entire experience is really snappy with great feedback feeling from shooting and moving around. There's so many little details in the animations. I love when you kill an enemy and you get the little red crystals. The way it fills up in the bar isn't just like a generic red bar. It's all the little crystals pulling up until you get a skill point. And you can then use that skill point to upgrade your ship, and it has RPG mechanics as well. Every time you get a new ability like boost or dash, you can go back to other areas and then finally progress where you couldn't before. So in a way, it's also got these Metroidvania style elements to it too. Also, It's only $15 and offers 7 to 8 hours of gameplay if you don't want to go crazy and do everything. So it's a fantastic bite-sized adventure to blast through in your spare time. It's a perfect palate cleanser if you're in the middle of Resident Evil 9 and you want to break from the scary, or you're just zoning out watching some 90 Day Fiancé on the TV and you just want to play something in the meantime. It's one of those perfect pick up and play games. So in this same video that I referenced earlier, I also very briefly talked about Fallout 4. Well, it doesn't really say Fallout 4, does it? Can I make it say Fallout 4? Well, there you go. Fallout 4 updates, close enough. It was quick, and all I managed to really fit into the video was that it had great performance, it had a quality visuals option that looked really nice, and there was a mode in between balanced where you could do a split of both with the 40 FPS. And other than that, all I said was that it was my favorite Fallout, and I left it there. I left you guys wondering why. I do legitimately think this is a great game. I think it gets a bad rep because everybody says, oh, 3 in New Vegas is better. Okay, I didn't play those. So without those to compare it to, it's a great game. You get a small taste of what life was like in this futuristic version of a 1950s aesthetic set in a world on a different timeline to ours, fortunately. You go into your vault, you enter cryo, some stuff happens and you essentially wake up 200 years later. Your family is gone, your baby is missing, and you gotta find them. And you play as a newcomer to this world that's already centuries into its new post-apocalyptic life. You need to go out and find other top world survivors, those that know nothing of the world before that you're from. You need to work with them, fight them, help them, and have your own adventure. I mean, it's one of those play it your own way type games like Skyrim was. If you're coming from the TV show, this game is the perfect one to play. Every time I sit down and watch an episode of that show, I just want to play Fallout 4. A lot of people say the dialogue and writing isn't as good as previous games, but again, without that to compare it to, I never had an issue, and I found so many characters likable and even lovable. On top of all the RPG mechanics too, you have a huge skill tree, loads of different weapons, mutated enemy types, missions, story and lore, so much more. There's also a base building element to it. You scrap parts of your old hometown that are just dilapidated and run down, and you use the parts to build up new houses and build beds and running water, clean water for the survivors that you have in your town. I mean, it really is like Bacopia. Okay, at the start of this video, I did reference there was going to be 9 games definitely worth buying in one. Tokyo Scramble. Look, this one has a giant asterisk next to it because the game's $30 and it's not great. So if you're looking to play this game solo, I am not recommending it. However, if you have some friends, good for you. Now, if you have friends that are looking for a wacky game, for one price of $30, you can game share this game with up to 3 other consoles. So 4 of you can play for the same $30. You split the price, you're at $5 each. For one night of fun, now we're talking. But here's the thing, you don't play together. You don't have 4 people playing different characters. It's 4 people playing one character. That's why I'm putting it on the list, because that is creative. It's unique and innovative, and it's something that I wish Nintendo would play around with more. So here's how it works. 4 people take control of one character. One character will have the movement, meaning they can like literally make the character walk around. Then another player will control the character's actions. So control when they crouch or when they start sprinting. You can already see where I'm going with this, but in a game where you're supposed to stealth past dinosaurs that will try to eat you, wouldn't it suck if you just started running for no reason? The third person will control all of the interactable elements around the world. So at some places you can turn on escalators to distract dinosaurs. Other places you can drop an elevator from the ceiling to squish a dinosaur. Finally, the fourth player controls the camera. So all the other 3 people are dependent on this person facing the camera the way that all 3 of them want it to face at any given time. Also, if you don't want to play with 4, you can play with 3 or 2. Everyone just controls more or different things. And even if you're trying your hardest to beat a level, even the most simple levels become very complicated when you can't run when you want to or look where you want to. So considering it is a Switch 2 game that actually offers something unique and something that I actually do think people can get some fun out of, I'm gonna recommend it here. For that mode and for its creativity. I don't know who's gonna play it on their own. Maybe someone. You know, I'm pretty old. I mean, like, you know, I'm getting there. But even still, when I saw Star Troopers Bug War hit the eShop, I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I remember Star Troopers. It was like a space movie. It was like a comedic space movie back when those were all the rage. Remember Galaxy Quest? That was one of my favorite movies. Spaceballs? That's also one of my favorite movies. So like, yeah, I get it, but like, why are we doing a game now? But then I saw that it had a 9 out of 10 on Steam, overwhelmingly positive reviews everywhere. The fact that it was an FPS that was running in 4K and 60 FPS on the Switch too, and I thought, all right, I'll give it a go. I'll check it out. Also, they sponsored my podcast, which gave me a good reason to play it. And I did, and I really liked it. Just full disclosure, they did sponsor my podcast. They're not now. I don't have to do it again. I just really liked it, and I wanted to talk about it for the people that don't watch the podcast. Why don't you watch my podcast? It's actually a podcast. We have a studio and everything. It's not in my basement anymore. Yeah, this game's actually kind of awesome. I love what they've done here. Basing the game on a comedic space war movie from 1997, they made the game look like it was straight out of 1997. I mean, that was the same year that we got games like 007, GoldenEye, Quake 2, Shadow Warrior, and Ultimate Bug War looks like it fits in right next to those ones. The 3D world and environments are contrasted in such a hilarious way with the sprite-based two-dimensional troopers and enemies, and it fits in with the comedic tone of the franchise. They even made full motion video cutscenes and skits that lead you into the levels, featuring Johnny Rico from the original movie. It's giving Helldiver 2. I mean, it's urging you to enlist, to join the fight, to help your fellow man. The gameplay just feels fun, like a smoother version of those old school shooters with over 30 weapons and items. They called it an authentic retro FPS, and it really feels like it is. There's even bug missions where you play as the bugs. It's just a fun game. I don't know why they decided to do it, but it's great. So remember, do your part and enlist today. Help us fight the bugs. So I wanted to talk about Core Keeper. This game is really good. It released on Switch 1 a couple of years ago, and I never got the chance to talk about it or put it in one of these videos. And it just really feels like it deserves a spot. And recently, it got a Switch 2 Edition upgrade. I am trying to not put too many Switch 2 Edition, Switch 1 games that we've already had for a while back in these videos because it kind of feels like cheating, but this felt like a special case. Also, right now, with Pokepia being the talk of the town, this is another one of those crafting simulator exploration games, so I think it makes sense. Also, side note, I noticed today as I was making this that Dreamlight Valley 2 and that Lord of the Rings Hobbit game that no one liked both got Switch 2 versions. So there's a lot of like cozy crafting management sim style games right now on I'm telling you, the eShop is just popping. I can't keep up. You explore a vast underground of caves and endless resources, mining crystals, fossils, and trinkets, surviving a procedurally generated underground world with up to 8 players. I really enjoyed my time with Core Keeper recently. However, I will say that it did seem so vast and so in-depth and so many things going on that I did get a bit overwhelmed, and I'm already overwhelmed with Pokepia, so I did kind of have to go like, no. But I wanted to highlight it in one of my videos and make you guys aware of it if you wanted to check it out. It's one of those games that also has overwhelming reviews everywhere like Steam. So, I mean, I don't know. Play it. Okay, I have been really excited for this one. I think it's my favorite for the video, and it's Blueprints. And you might be seeing it now for the first time and thinking, it's not really for me. And I get what you're saying. I thought that too. And every time I saw gameplay of it, it just looked like a slow-paced, first-person, point-and-click style game like Myst from back in the day. And I was like, that's not really my thing. It's so much more fun than that. Let me tell you about it. It's actually a roguelike. See, you're interested now, aren't you? So the game starts with narration from the estate's deceased owner, Sinclair. He explains to you how in his will, he's leaving you his entire estate. The only stipulation is you have to find the 46th room in the estate, which apparently no one has ever done. And if you can't do it, the will is void and you will not inherit the manor. Every time you open a door, it leads somewhere completely different to the time before. You can pick between different rooms to draft, each with their own items, secrets, doors, and purpose. But if you run out of doors or you run out of steps, you'll have to leave for the day and come back tomorrow. And every day the manor resets and nothing is the same. I instantly became glued to the concept and I could not pull myself away. And the rooms are like these small dioramas, so it doesn't take long to grab whatever unique item or thing is in the room and then move on to the next one. Along the way, you'll find coins, keys, and gems. Coins are used to purchase items in the store, the keys are used to open doors or chests, and gems are used to draft better rooms, rooms with key objectives or extra doors that lead further into the mansion. Usually when I'm drafting rooms, I like to bring up all the rooms that I have made on the grid, because certain doors will go certain ways and you can actually end up blocking other possible doors that you could have made. And if you're not careful, you can actually block yourself out completely and ruin a run because you'll have nowhere else to go. You'll be out of places to open a door. If you do that, you'll have to leave and reset the day. There's so many objectives within this objective. Also, there's challenges within the challenges, like there's these box challenges that always have one truth, one lie, and then one ambiguous, and you have to read the clues and open the right box. There's a ton of moments where when you solve something or you figure something out, like when I found the magnifying glass and then read a hidden note and found a password, it's like you feel so smart. There's so many aha moments, or like, whoa, I didn't think of that. And it's all baked in mystery upon mystery. Blueprints, get it? Is something special. It's one of those unique games that somebody had a brilliant idea for, and it just really came together. It's a once in a blue moon kind of experience that it would be a shame if you missed it. That's how much I like this game. So who would have thought it, huh? Who would have thunk it that you and I would be here in 2026 talking about the sequel to Scott Pilgrim the game? I mean, it was like 10 years that the original Scott Pilgrim game was delisted from all game stores, and with no physical, there was just no way to play this game for a decade. It was seemingly lost to time due to licensing rights. And then out of nowhere, a few years ago, it came back. They figured something out and it got released on Nintendo and a bunch of other places. And now here we are 3 years later, and we have a sequel, which also came out of a very strange place. As far as I can tell, there was the animated series on Netflix, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It was really good, but apparently it didn't take off because it unfortunately got canceled. And the creator of the show, the anime, and the creator of Scott Pilgrim came together and decided to follow up the show and the series and everything with another video game. And to do that, they even brought back the lead artist from the original game and the original game's chiptune-based rock band Anamanaguchi. Needless to say, the Scott Pilgrim stage has been set for a triumphant return. And it's a pretty solid return. Is it as good as the first game? I mean, let me tell you, the first game 15 years ago was, I think, pretty revolutionary for the beat-em-ups genre. Beat-em-ups to that point, at least everyone that I played, it was just move from the left to the right and beat the people up until you beat the last bad guy, and I hope you don't run out of quarters along the way. But for Scott Pilgrim, I mean, you used the coins you got from beating people up to actually spend on your items and upgrades for the run. I mean, that's like RPG mechanics in a beat 'em up, but also it's almost kind of like a roguelike in a way. I think it was the depth missing in this genre back then. This new game, I mean, it has fantastic animated pixel art, slapping music, and it's so clearly built with love. There's more fighting, more levels, 7 different playable characters, and I will say that I think the biggest upgrade is in the combat. It feels way more fresh, fast, and fluid than before, and I think this new revamp makes sense because it was developed by Tribute Games, which they couldn't have found a better crew to make this. Tribute recently made the Marvel Cosmic Invasion game, as well as the pretty much beloved TMNT Shredder's Revenge, so this game has everything going for it. It really feels like if you're a fan of the first one, you will love this one. If you like beat-em-ups, you'll most likely love this beat-em-up. I don't think it's doing anything new and revolutionary like I felt like the first one did in its time, but sometimes you don't gotta reinvent the wheel. I gotta tell you, when I do these videos, I like to start with a good one, end with a good one, and then I put the rest in the middle. I feel like any game in this list could have been the banger one for the last one in any other video. Well, this time it's Mio. It really could have been almost any of these games other than Tokyo Scramble, but it's Mio. It's the latest mesmerizing Metroidvania, where you explore an enormous technological arc overgrown with machines gone rogue. If you like Hollow Knight, if you specifically like Ori, you're gonna like this game. You explore mysterious and wonderfully animated worlds, you find secrets, enhance your abilities, and find new ways to explore and traverse other parts of the world. The movement, I think, shines here above some other Metroidvanias in the genre. It's very very fast and fluid. Also, it helps that it's 4K and 60 FPS. Although something I really appreciated, especially after playing Silksong, which I loved, but was dummy thick hard. Mio is a lot more forgiving. It is a challenging game, but it's just easier to get around. It's easier to know where you're supposed to be going next because the map is really generous with giving you subtle hints and clues as to what areas you should explore. That currency that you lose is called shards, but there's a way to compress them if you want to save them. So deaths don't really feel like the horrible setback like they do in some of those other games. I also think the boss fights are an enjoyable level of difficult. If you have quick reflexes and adapt well to pattern-based fights, you can probably find yourself figuring out a boss and defeating it on the first try. Not always, and not because it's too easy, it's just because the game rewards you for paying attention and mastering the combat. The way that the lights and colors reflect off every surface is what makes the game so mesmerizing to look at, especially in the areas where the color scheme becomes an acid trip. And then the 3D environments, they're so detailed and robust with things happening in the background and the foreground and the middle ground. The way the whole game is presented just feels really quality. This game is a no-brainer for people that love the genre. If you've never tried one, this is a perfect place to start because again, it's not so crazy over the top difficult. And that is another 10 eShop games worth buying. And Tokyo Scramble. I don't want to be mean. As I said at the start of this video, Zach and I, we've been going crazy with these green screen videos and we're having so much fun with them. This is definitely an easier video to shoot and we needed a break. I mean, we've been doing them for so long, we're in the flow, but a reason why I still do them is because I legitimately love it. I get excited every time I'm like, oh, I could do another eShop video. I get to play 10 more games and see if they're good and then talk about them. I love the flow. I love the structure. I love that we've just done so many of them. It's really my only reoccurring series. I know I say that a lot, but I just love that I have it. It's almost like my podcast. It's just something that I can look forward to every month or so. So if you're still enjoying them after all of these years of me doing them, which has to be getting close to like 10 years of this, hit the like button and subscribe. I am going to PAX this weekend, so you'll probably see a fun video about that soon, and I'll probably bring the green screen back out and yell about some more things that I like maybe. All right, cool. All right, get out of here. All right, go on. Go on, get. Go on, get. The video's over. All right.